Captain Elena Vasquez adjusted her worn Terran defense force uniform as she watched the Zephyrian dreadnoughts descend through Earth's atmosphere like metallic locusts. From the observation deck of the hidden command center, buried beneath the Swiss Alps, she could see the alien vessels positioning themselves over major population centers. To any observer, it looked like another routine invasion of the primitive backwater world. "Captain," Lieutenant Commander Zhang whispered, his voice tight with barely contained fury. "They're setting up weapons platforms directly above the schools in Beijing." "The children are safer than they've ever been?" Elena interrupted, her dark eyes never leaving the tactical display. "The Zephyrians think they're establishing a staging ground. They have no idea they just triggered Protocol Omega." For 5 centuries, Earth had played the role of the galaxy's weakling. Every species that had come to strip mine their resources, dump their waste, or test their weapons had been carefully catalogued, studied, and allowed to leave with the illusion of superiority intact. The Terran diplomatic corps had documented every slight, every act of casual cruelty, every moment of alien arrogance. They had reverse-engineered every piece of technology, mapped every weakness, and built a comprehensive database of galactic civilizations. Now, the Zephyrian Empire had made the fatal mistake of using Earth as a forward base for their expansion war against the Centauri Federation. They had crossed the line from exploitation to active military staging ground, and Elena's wrist communicator was already glowing with the crimson authorization code that meant the charade was over. "Sir, Communications Officer Reeves called. Out, we're receiving the transmission from all continental command centers. The Council has voted. Protocol Omega is now active." Elena closed her eyes for a moment, feeling the weight of centuries of careful planning settle on her shoulders. When she opened them again, they held the cold determination of a predator finally ready to strike. "Initiate Phase 1, she commanded. "Begin systematic revelation of our true capabilities. And send a message to the Zephyrian Fleet Commander. Tell him that Earth would like to discuss terms for his immediate withdrawal." "What terms should I mention, Captain?" Elena's smile was thin and sharp as a blade. "Tell him we're offering him the chance to leave with his ships still intact. That's the only term that matters." As the communications array hung to life, Elena watched the first of Earth's hidden defense platforms begin to decloak in orbit. The galaxy was about to learn that humanity's greatest weapon had never been their technology. It had been their patience. Asterisk. Admiral Kexthara of the Zephyrian Third. Fleet adjusted his ceremonial breathing apparatus as he reviewed the pathetic response from the human primitives below. The message was so absurd he almost deleted it immediately, but something about its confident tone made him pause. These creatures actually believed they could negotiate with the mighty Zephyrian Empire. "Navigation, bring us to optimal bombardment. Position over their largest population center," he commanded, his voice carrying the authority of 1,000 conquered worlds. "We'll send a message to the Centauri that resistance is futile." The massive viewscreen flickered, and suddenly Admiral Kexthara was looking at a human female in what appeared to be a primitive military uniform. Her dark hair was pulled back severely, and her eyes held an unsettling confidence that made his secondary hearts skip a beat. "Admiral Kexthara," the human said, somehow knowing his name and rank. "I am Captain Elena Vasquez of the Terran Diplomatic Corps. You have 30 seconds to begin withdrawing your forces from Earth's atmosphere, or we will demonstrate why that would be in your best interest." The bridge erupted in clicking laughter from his crew. The audacity of these primitives never ceased to amuse him. "Human, your world has been designated as a forward staging area for the Zephyrian Empire. You will submit to our authority or face the consequences of your primitive weapons." "Admiral," Elena said, her voice carrying an edge of steel, "I think there's been a misunderstanding. Those weren't our weapons you've been laughing at for the past 5 centuries. Those were our Diplomatic gestures. Before Kexthara could respond, his tactical officer's voice cracked with panic. Sir, energy readings are spiking across the planet's surface. I'm detecting... Sir, this is impossible. The humans are generating power output levels that exceed our own fleet capacity by a factor of 12. The view screen split, showing tactical displays that made Kexthara's blood run cold. Across Earth's surface, what had appeared to be primitive cities were revealing themselves as sophisticated military installations. Weapon platforms that dwarfed anything in the Zephyrian arsenal were rising from hidden positions, their energy signatures blazing like newborn stars. You see, Admiral, Elena continued conversationally, we've been cataloging every species that's come to push us around. Every weapon system, every tactical doctrine, every weakness. We've been playing the long game while you've been playing at conquest. Impossible, Kexthara breathed, watching his fleet's tactical assessment shift from total supremacy to catastrophic disadvantage in real time. Our intelligence reports clearly state that humans are technologically primitive. Elena's smile was cold as vacuum. Your intelligence reports stated what we wanted them to state. The question now, Admiral, is whether you're smart enough to leave while you still can. Asterisk, the Zephyrian dreadnought Worldbreaker shuddered as warning klaxons wailed. Across its bridge, Admiral Kexthara stared at the tactical display in disbelief as Earth's hidden weapons platforms locked onto his fleet with targeting systems that made his own technology look like stone knives. Sir, his weapons officer reported, mandibles clicking with nervous energy. The humans are painting us with targeting lasers that can penetrate our shielding like it doesn't exist. How is this possible? Captain Elena Vasquez appeared on the main screen again, her image now flanked by holographic displays showing detailed schematics of Zephyrian ship designs. We've had 500 years to study your technology, Admiral. Every primitive surrender, every backward compliance with your demands gave us access to your systems. We know exactly how your shields work because we helped design the improvements you've been using for the past century. Kexthara secondary. Heart stopped completely. What are you saying? I'm saying that every time you left Earth, thinking you'd bullied the weak humans into submission, you were actually leaving with technology upgrades that we secretly provided. Your superior shield generators? Based on human quantum field manipulation. Your advanced weapon systems? Reverse engineered from modifications we made to your own designs. We've been inside your technology for generations, Admiral. We've been inside your entire civilization. The tactical display showed the true scope of the trap. Hidden throughout Earth's solar system, massive installations were powering up. Their energy signatures dwarfing anything the Zephyrians had ever encountered. Luna's surface cracked open like an egg, revealing a moon-sized weapons platform that had been disguised as a natural satellite for millennia. This is impossible, Kexthara whispered. Our empire spans 1,000 worlds. We have conquered species across the galaxy. How could PRIMITIVES ... Because, Elena interrupted, we were never primitives. We were gardeners. We've been cultivating galactic civilization for centuries, pruning back the aggressive species, nurturing the peaceful ones, and waiting for the right moment to reveal ourselves. Today, Admiral, is that moment. Lieutenant Commander Zhang stepped into view beside Elena, his expression grim. Sir, the Centauri Federation has just received our broadcast. They're confirming that the Zephyrian fleet has been completely surrounded by previously unknown Terran assets. They're requesting immediate diplomatic contact with Earth's true government. Elena nodded. Send them our standard first contact package. Let them know we're interested in establishing proper diplomatic relations. She turned back to Kexthara. As for you, Admiral, you have a choice. You can be the first Zephyrian commander to surrender to human forces, or you can be the last Zephyrian commander to make any choice at all. The bridge fell silent, except for the hum of the targeting systems maintaining their lock on the Zephyrian fleet. Kexthara looked at his crew, seeing the same stunned realization in their eyes that he felt in his hearts. They had awakened something that had been sleeping for centuries, something that had been patiently waiting for exactly this moment. Kexthara began, his voice barely a whisper. I surrender. The Galactic Council chamber on Nexus Prime had never seen such chaos. Representatives from hundreds of species filled the amphitheater, their various forms of communication creating a cacophony of clicks, whistles, and telepathic static. The center of it all stood Captain Elena Vasquez, no longer hiding behind the facade of a primitive military officer. Order, boomed the Council Chancellor, a crystalline being whose voice resonated through every translation matrix in the chamber. The human delegation will present their evidence. Elena activated the holographic display, and suddenly the chamber was filled with 5 centuries of documentation. Every exploitation, every casual cruelty, every moment of galactic arrogance, played out in perfect detail. The assembly watched in stunned silence as their own species' actions were laid bare. For 500 years, Elena began, her voice carrying clearly through the chamber's acoustics, Earth has served as the galaxy's dumping ground, testing site, and resource extraction point. We were seen as primitive, backward, and weak. We encouraged this perception. Ambassador Veltar of the Hegemony Coalition rose from his seat, his tentacles writhing with indignation. This is preposterous. Your species couldn't possibly have developed such advanced technology in secret. Our intelligence networks would have detected. Your intelligence networks, Elena interrupted, were fed exactly the information we wanted them to have. Every spy you sent to Earth, every probe you deployed, every surveillance satellite you placed in our system, all of it was compromised from the moment it arrived. We've been controlling your perception of us for centuries. The holographic display shifted, showing the true scope of Earth's hidden infrastructure. Massive industrial complexes buried beneath ocean floors, space-based manufacturing facilities disguised as asteroids, and weapon platforms that had been masquerading as derelict space debris for generations. The technology on display made even the most advanced galactic civilizations look primitive by comparison. But why? Demanded Counselor Rethka of the Spiral Arm Confederacy. Why maintain such an elaborate deception? Why not simply reveal your true capabilities? Elena's expression hardened. Because we were studying you. All of you. We needed to understand exactly what kind of galaxy we were dealing with. We needed to know who could be trusted, who could be reformed, and who needed to be removed from positions of power. She gestured, and the display showed a comprehensive analysis of every major galactic civilization. Detailed psychological profiles, technological assessments, and strategic vulnerabilities filled the air around the assembled delegates. The Zephyrian Empire, Elena continued, failed our test. They chose to use Earth as a staging ground for aggressive expansion. That decision triggered Protocol Omega, our transition from passive observation to active intervention. The chamber erupted in panicked discussion. Species that had casually exploited Earth for centuries suddenly realized they had been walking into the den of a sleeping predator. The implications were staggering. What do you want? Chancellor Christos asked, his harmonic voice carrying undertones of fear. Elena smiled, but it was the smile of a teacher addressing particularly slow students. We want what we've always wanted: peace, prosperity, and the end of the casual cruelty that has characterized galactic civilization for too long. The difference is that now we're in a position to ensure those goals are achieved. And if we refuse, Veltar challenged, then you'll discover why Earth has been so patient for so long. Elena replied. "We've been preparing for this conversation. For 5 centuries. We know exactly how to have it with or without your cooperation." 6 months after the Nexus Prime revelation, Elena stood on the observation deck of the newly constructed Terra station, watching as the first joint human-alien exploration fleet prepared to depart for the Andromeda Galaxy. The sight would have been impossible to imagine just a year ago, when Earth was still playing the role of the galaxy's victim. "Captain," Lieutenant Commander Zhang approached, holding a data pad with the day's intelligence reports. "The Zephyrian Empire is completed. Their transition to the new governance model. Admiral Kexthara sends his regards and reports that their aggressive expansion programs have been permanently discontinued." Elena nodded, accepting the report. The Zephyrians had been surprisingly adaptable once they understood that resistance was futile. Many of their former military commanders had proven quite effective as administrators in the new galactic order. "What about the Hegemony Coalition?" she asked. "Ambassador Valtar has agreed to the technology sharing provisions. They're particularly interested in our ecological restoration techniques. It seems they've been trying to repair the damage from their strip mining operations for decades." Through the viewport, Helena could see the construction of the new diplomatic Corps' headquarters, a massive structure that would serve as the center of galactic government. It was being built using a combination of human engineering and alien materials, a symbol of the cooperation that Earth's revelation had finally made possible. "You know," Zhang said quietly, "I still can't believe we pulled it off. 500 years of pretending to be weak, all leading to this moment." Elena's reflection in the viewport showed a woman who had aged considerably in the past months. The weight of transitioning from secret operative to galactic leader had taken its toll, but her eyes still held the same determined fire. "The hardest part wasn't the deception," she replied. "It was watching our people suffer while we maintained the facade. Every invasion, every exploitation, every moment of casual cruelty, we had to let it happen to preserve the larger strategy." "But it worked," Zhang pointed out. "The galaxy is more peaceful now than it's been in 1,000 years. The aggressive species have been reformed or removed from power. Trade routes are secure. Scientific collaboration is flourishing." Elena smiled, but it was tinged with sadness. "It worked because we were willing to sacrifice everything for the greater good. The question now is whether we can maintain this peace without losing ourselves in the process." A communication chime interrupted their conversation. Elena activated the holographic display, and the image of Chancellor Christus appeared, his crystalline form radiating a harmony that would have been impossible under the old system. "Captain Vasquez," he said, his harmonic voice carrying genuine warmth, "the Council has approved the expansion protocols. We're ready to begin the next phase of galactic civilization." Elena straightened, feeling the weight of responsibility settle on her shoulders once again. "Understood, Chancellor. Terra Station is ready to coordinate the new exploration initiatives." As the communication ended, Elena turned to Zhang. "Ready to help shape the future of galactic civilization, Lieutenant Commander?" "Always, Captain. Though I have to ask, are we still being diplomatic?" Elena's smile was sharp as a blade. "We're always being diplomatic, Zhang. The difference is that now everyone knows exactly what our diplomacy is backed by." Outside the viewport, the stars beckoned with infinite possibilities, and for the first time in centuries, Earth was ready to meet them as equals rather than victims. The age of deception was over. The age of honest strength had begun. The end asterisk